pleasure to be here to talk about something that I'm very passionate about, and hopefully it will be helpful and add value to you in some way as well. So today, I'm going to talk about how to market to women, but really in a broader context of how to niche market. This is what I'm hoping you'll learn from the presentation. The importance of niche marketing, how to develop niche personas, how to get active on social media. Are any of you active now? Oh, not very many, okay. Website branding, blogging tips. Who has a blog?
Is that yours?
Oh, okay. And how to network with your niche. So this presentation will be about niche marketing, but kind of using myself as a case study to show you some of the things that I've done. So why niche? For me, it made it so much easier to know where to spend my marketing dollars and also to build good content that I could use in my internet marketing strategy, because I know exactly who I am talking to and who I'm writing for. And that is so valuable in getting new clients or getting prospects to notice you. What is it? It's just picking a particular type of clientele and building a practice around them as far as services and then marketing to them. So for example, you could pick a profession as your niche. You become an expert in physician practices, for example, or you become an expert in the issues that athletes face. Does anybody do that in here? Okay. Or you do what I did, and I took a broad class of people, women. I mean, come on, is that a niche? No, it's 50% of the population. So no, it's definitely not a niche. But then I honed in and I identified personas. I call them niche personas within this niche of women. My client base already was largely women, but I thought, so why not own that? Why not just jump off the cliff and it's not that I won't work with men either. That's not what this is about. In fact, if you niche, you're going to get clients of all types. I mean, it's not like you're going to turn off anybody. But I have to admit, the majority of people that come to me are women. That's okay with me, because guess who controls a lot of the wealth in the United States? Women. So, there were good business reasons why I did this too. You want to make sure that you have a personal connection with the clients, that you share values, that you have a communication style that you have in common with. For example, with women, when women come into my office, we chit-chat for quite a while about anything but business. And we get that comfort level and trust going. I like that style. It works for me. It seems to work for women. That's an example of communication style. You learn about their concerns and problems, so you know how to talk about what might be bothering them when you come in. And you learn about their interests and hobbies. So this would be for any particular niche. So these are some of the reasons. I find women easy to talk to, and they're very open about their lives, not only their lives, but their finances. They'll tell you, they trust you. Women will tell you just about anything, their love lives, whatever. All that does, it creates this great trust so you can get into the deeper issues of money. Women tend not to be ego-driven, and what I mean by that is when it comes to investing, because I am an investment advisor too, they don't feel like they have to control the investment outcome as much. What a relief. I have found that to be a different experience with a lot of men who want to control the investment outcome, or who don't, and I see this, I see it with my couples clients. So women are more willing to let me manage their money than the man in the couple. So the reason I'm picking this niche is it makes it easier for me to do business. And women are willing to admit they need help. I saw a need back then, 2008, that advisors were not focusing on women clients. Now all you do, you open anything, Investment News, Financial Planning Magazine, see these huge spreads about women and what a great client they make. But then not that many people were doing it. They do control the majority of the wealth, and that's growing, and they live longer than men. So if you stay in business a long time, you're going to have these clients for a long time. So those are some of the reasons. And I find women more comfortable in paying for my services. I do not get pushback on my fees from women. So I dug in, after I picked women to market to, broad base, I thought, what kinds of women do I want to market to? What makes the most sense? So I found 3 types of personas for me. One is the mid-career female professional. She's in her 40s, 50s. A lot of times with me, she's single, either through divorce, never married. She is so bored with corporate life. So these are the things I've discovered. And this is how you look at your persona. Totally bored, cannot wait to get out and retire. And what really would like to do is retire and do something else that's more meaningful. I hear that a lot. So they come wanting to know, am I saving enough? Do I have enough money to retire? And can I do this next thing that I want to do? So there's a lot of planning issues around that. So those are some of the characteristics. Then you hone in on the pain points that this persona might be experiencing. And as I said, frustration, no time to enjoy hobbies, not enough time for leisure, worried about retirement, worried about aging, and worried about being relevant as they age. That comes up a lot. Women who are in big companies are maybe 55, they look around them, and all of a sudden everyone's 30, and they're thinking, am I going to survive the next layoff? So those are some of the planning issues around that, and they really need help. So if you can target your content marketing to those pain points, guess what? They're going to want to talk to you. So the next persona is retired, widowed, or divorced. These women are in their late 60s, 70s. This is my most profitable client. Usually they have a lot of money. They've inherited a big IRA from their husband, you know, those kind of things. They're withdrawing from their assets. They love leisure. They have no plans to remarry. They're willing to pay for service because they're used to that. They're used to paying professionals through their lives. And they have a lot of money to spend. They have a lot of leisure time. I like this client a lot. Their pain points are, will I run out of money? No matter how much money somebody has, people are always worried that they're going to run out because they're living on a fixed income at this point. So that's definitely their pain point. They're worried about their health and health care costs. They're worried about leaving something to their grandkids or their children. And they're worried about being alone. Okay, the last client, and I am struggling to find a way to work with this client and make it profitable, but I really want to have this type of client because, of course, they're the future. So this is the young professional or self-employed woman. These women are in their careers early. They're starting to make good money, but they're usually saddled with student loan debt, for example. They have cash flow issues. They spend too much money on dining out, bars, and clothes. But they're very smart, and when they come to a financial advisor, they know they want to get it right. So I don't want to turn these kind of clients away, and they are out there in droves. The millennial, you know how big that generation is. So their pain points are debt. No one, it seems, has good financial education in this country. I don't know why. I get a lot of women in this group saying, I am clueless about my money. Women use the word clueless a lot, which actually can be a benefit to all of us because it means they need help. Their cost of living, I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area, and I'm sure it's the same here, is so high that they're living with 3 roommates, you know, all that stuff, and they don't want to do that forever, so they want to know how to get out of that. And managing cash flow, like I said, have a hard time keeping it together. So that's how I have my practice. When I do my content marketing, and we'll get into this branding thing, I'm thinking about those 3 types of women now. Maybe other types will come, but those are the 3 I've identified, and it's a way to really target in on your marketing. So, importance of internet marketing. Internet marketing means you have a great website, you do some blogging, you have an email newsletter, you tweet, you Facebook, you do LinkedIn, you may write an ebook, you may do some video, YouTube video, or you may podcast. I find that great value. But I think social media, a lot of you aren't using it. I think you should consider it. So before I get into the platforms, these are kind of the 5 rules of social media marketing that I have discovered in my use. One is, you don't have to be on all the social platforms. It would take up so much time. You find the one that best reflects who you are and what your niche, where your niche is, okay? Not everybody's going to be tweeting. Not everybody's on Facebook. Not everyone's on LinkedIn. So you really got to do some thinking about that. Because let's face it, it takes time, right? And all of us don't have it. If you do it, you got to be present and consistent. So the worst thing, well, when you open up someone's blog and they haven't written a blog post in 2 years, you're like, click. Automatically you think, old, all right, this isn't going to be of value to me. That's what happens when somebody goes on one of these profiles and you haven't tweeted in 9 months. In fact, there's apps to clean out people that haven't tweeted in 9 months. You're just going to get deleted. So if you're going to make the commitment to do it, you need to be there. Don't get discouraged if you don't get clients right away. I've been doing this since 2008, and it takes time. But any marketing takes time when you think about it. It's not just social media marketing that takes time. But now it kind of like builds on itself, and then it gets critical mass or whatever, and all of a sudden you're getting referrals everywhere from Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter, and you can't believe it. So it pays not to get discouraged. It's not a selling tool, like you don't make, and plus we can't sell, it's a compliance thing. Compliance isn't as onerous as you think. I know a lot of you are probably thinking that. The rules have come out. As long as you're not, touting stocks and saying you've got great performance, the last 10 years, you can tweet about a lot of things. I mean, personal financial topics especially, broader, and that will help your niche, are the best things to talk about. Not what stock to buy or what asset allocation to have. That's kind of on the line of not okay. So it's content marketing, which we'll get into, is really content is king. So this is probably the most important statement about social media, is your content is the most important thing. Because one, it'll make people want to follow you because you're interesting and have something of value. And two, if you niche right and you really are focused, your niche is going to find your content and they're going to read it and they may call you. So that's why content is so important of social media. I'm going to go over the social platforms in the order that I like them and that I have found over the last 6 years have been of value to me, and I'm kind of surprised at how it's changed. Facebook, surprisingly, a lot of people hate Facebook. I'm sure a lot of you in this room do. They keep changing the rules, they get intrusive. It's like the devil's bargain to be involved with them. But I found Facebook, and I'm not talking business page, I'm talking personal profile, is becoming one of my best ways to get clients. This is a very passive way to market. I'm not doing anything special. I'm not talking about my practice. I'm liking people's stuff. I'm posting pictures of myself on the weekend. And so this, one thing you have to be careful of, because I do connect with some clients. Be careful which clients you connect with, because if you're having too much fun, that's all they're going to see. And they're going to think that's all you're doing is having fun. So Twitter, another advantage of Twitter is the media finds you on Twitter. All these little opportunities I've had, CNBC, AOL, it's because I'm always online, I'm out there, I'm writing. They are so thirsty for stories, the media, you can't believe it. I mean, just think of it. They have to reach deadlines like every single day and post it and write interesting articles. So if you have stuff to give them, they're going to, if they can find you, they're going to contact you. And I think, I don't know how you feel about it, but I think it's valuable to be quoted in the national media. Maybe your clients won't see it, but you can. I have a thing on my website where I list every time I'm quoted in the media. You can tweet the stuff, you can, all that. So that's another advantage of Twitter. YouTube is great because in case of my niche, women want to feel that trust thing early on, and they can see you. So I have a welcome video on my website. So, and as a woman, when I go to a website, I love to see the welcome video. So I think that's important. Maybe that's not so important to who you're marketing to, but I think in general, people want to get a better look. It's just another chance before they pick up the phone. LinkedIn, as you know, is like a professional Rolodex. I think you have to be there. And it's a good, you can be passive on it, but you can also join groups. You can post things on groups, and you can also prospect on LinkedIn because they've got all these search features. I have to admit, I haven't prospected on LinkedIn. It's something I think about doing, but it seems too pushy to me, and I'd rather do this way. But if you're a kind of advisor that is willing to do that kind of, like if you're a cold caller, you can do LinkedIn prospecting, no problem. I don't know how many of you are that aggressive about going after client. I think if you can do it, it's great, because LinkedIn, everybody in the world is on LinkedIn. These are just a few tips that I already went over. So in all of them, it's be interactive, be on. With Twitter, it's follow people. You can follow people that I have a whole bunch of other financial people that I interact with on Twitter. So it's a real community building thing. I learn a ton of things on Twitter. You can follow the media so they find you. Okay, YouTube is creating trust visually. I talked about that. If you hate writing, because I think blogging is really an important tool for advisors, you could do 1-minute video blogs so you don't have to write. And there are you can post them on your website, post them on Twitter. It's like a protect, this is what I was saying earlier. So I said have to have one, I'm not so sure about that anymore. In fact, I recently had a Twitter interchange with about 10 other advisors. We were talking about the value of Facebook business page. We all have one, and we all agree that they're not bringing in any business. So maybe that you can scratch that one off your list. So the keys are being present and consistent, have a strategy. So this sounds, if you're going to do this, I would sit down, if you have a marketing person or, speaking about marketing people, I started out completely on my own doing this, using like a website person, but after about 5 years, I decided I could not do it, I needed to hire. So I have a team now that helps me with my marketing, and if you can afford it, oh my God. They help me put this, I mean, they do beautiful work, they take my brand and just do all these great things, and so I can focus on my business more now, which is fantastic. There's a lot of apps to help you out. These are just repeating some of the things that I talked about, that don't get discouraged, don't sell, and content is king. Okay. Everyone has a website, I'm sure. If you have a niche, so much easier to build a website. So my website looks a lot like all the branding you see here. It's bright, it's different, it doesn't have people looking at pictures of charts and things like that. It's pink and green and black, and it does appeal to women because I get a lot of compliments on my website when people contact me. So I think it's really important to build a strong website. Get through these. Some of the things that a website can do for you, and I think I even have to learn this. When you think about a website, it's a way to tell people what you do, but it's also a way to capture leads, right? This is a lead for me. I always felt like, oh, I'm just going to give people lots of good content, and I wasn't really asking for anything. But if you talk to any marketer, it's a waste of time, because people are hitting on your website. If you don't have something for them to sign up for, if it's your newsletter, your ebook, whatever, you're not capturing that email so then you can continue to market to them. Because why were they on your website in the first place? They were probably looking for an advisor or even thinking about hiring an advisor. So now I've got all these marketers call them call to actions, where you have them sign up for something clearly saying, basically, I'm going to market to you, or you're not going to get this. So you're having them opt in. You don't want to spam. But that's a great use of a website to keep your website working for you. Ebooks are great. I wrote an ebook called The Happiness Spreadsheet. And it came out of my work with this client that has cash flow issues. And the idea was that you build your budget based on things that make you most happy, and then you don't spend money on the rest. And I thought, great. I can't believe how much I've been able to use that thing as a landing page, capture email. I have it on Amazon. It's just, if you can do something like that, something unique and something that you know whatever type of client you're looking for will read it and like it, it's really fun to have that out there and be able, I use it over and over. I think I've had that thing for 3 years. Okay, we talked about videos, talked about newsletters. Podcasting is a brand new thing. It's really, I'm thinking about, it's really cheap now to get a little microphone. You could do it yourself. You just, instead of writing a blog, you just talk into this microphone and you can post them. Stephanie Sammons, do you know her? She does Wired Advisor. You should follow her. She's great. She does a lot of this. I think it's the next wave of what to do online. Okay, so content marketing strategy. This is if you want to blog and don't want to run all the time for yourself. You reach out for people to interview and write about. So let's say your market is physicians and there's some new way to build patients that's quicker and it'll save them tons of money. You could interview somebody, some vendor about this and put it on your blog. Your centers of influence, ask them to write an article for your blog. Your estate planning attorney that you get all kinds of referrals from or you want to get referrals from, better yet, your CPA that you work with, whatever. Ask them to write an article about their specialty. This is this thing about becoming an expert, writing a white paper or writing an ebook on something that's really important to your market. Create downloadable tools and put them on your website or your blog. Go back to this identifying your persona and their pain points. I would brainstorm, what do my clients worry about at night? What loses sleep? Write about those and post them on your blog. And then a lot of you have a newsletter. I don't know if you do anything with it other than email it out. I post it on Twitter, I post it on Facebook. I use it all over social media so other people see it and maybe will sign on to it. What a great marketing tool to get other people that you don't even know signing up to get your newsletter. And you just get a link and you can post it a lot of places if you're using social media. You can post commentary about the market. You have to be careful about that, but general commentary. And then you can do client case studies. There's lots of interesting ways that you can blog. Okay, so the last point here is networking. And is networking, this is face-to-face that I'm talking about, is it still valuable? So I think if you pick a niche, in the beginning it's really good to go out and face-to-face network. But it's amazing how much less you have to do that if your primary marketing focus goes online. And I think a lot of people are still online. That's not to say that face-to-face isn't important. And in a niche, you kind of start to know where your clients hang out, and then you can target where you go. You don't just go to some general mixer anymore, you go somewhere where your client's going to be. So I think that face-to-face is still a great way to integrate your marketing. So to recap, as you can see, I am a huge fan of internet marketing, social media, and this whole concept of picking a niche. And I know for me, it's really completely transformed my practice, and it makes everything easier. And that's what I like about it. It makes a lot of things easier as far as my time and marketing dollars. Looks like it's wrapped up. Thank you so much.